Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I'm going to do a little video on the lesser goldfinch. Yes, we have thousands of hummingbirds now, but I rarely talk about the lesser goldfinches that we have. They are not as bright as the American goldfinch, but we have now, I'm going to say safely hundreds, but we could have more. I'm not sure if you can see them, but the tree is packed with them. It looks like little leaves kind of glistening and moving in the light. But those are all lesser goldfinches. And they're coming to this water fountain. This is their favorite water feature on the property. They use this one. And then they also use, I've got a little angel down there, and I've got a candlestick that they happen to love. They'll take a bath out of it. And they'll use the ball. I've got the ball fountain, and they use that, and they take baths in there. But I think what really brought him in, not just the water, which water is so important, is the food. They have a tremendous amount of food in my garden. Now, 20 years ago, I remember Gary used to go out and sit and want to see them, and he'd have to wait and see if he could find one, and he'd be so excited when he saw one. We really didn't have any around here. They were very, very few. And so you would have to really look around to see if you can find them. But now with the garden, the past 3-4 years, the population has exploded. I mean, we have got so many, no joke. I'm going to easily say hundreds, because just sitting here this morning, having my coffee, I started counting, and there were close to 100 that I could see, just see. They come in all day and they take a bath on that fountain, and you'll see they can pack themselves in there, a half a dozen or more, just trying to take a bath. Now, I do feed the birds, as you can see here. I've got bowls of seeds out, but they will never go in there and feed. So they all get along, because there's no competition for the towhees and the sparrows and some of the songbirds that do eat from there. They have, like I said, there's no competition between them, so they all do forage in the garden here without any problems. You'll never see any fighting. I have not seen any fighting here at all with other species of birds. But what they are eating in my garden are greens, and they like the new shoots that are coming through, the new growth of the leaves, because they're tender and they're soft. And of course, they're sweet when they first start to grow, the new shoots. So they eat the new leaves, but the other thing they eat is the seed heads, because they prefer green seed. When they're still in the pods, the seeds are softer at that stage. I've talked about that with zucchini. That even with zucchini, when you pick a zucchini, when you first pick it, the seed is soft because it hasn't started to develop the shell on the inside. Well, it's the same thing with all the kale and the collard that's growing around here. This inner seed, even though the seed is formed, the shell is still soft. So they will come and pick off the plants, the softer seed. They will occasionally eat some of the dried out seeds that are on there, because again, they're not as hard as if they have already hardened up, but they really do come in here and eat a lot of the green seeds. And so that's what's caused their population to explode. Anytime Mother Nature tells them, you've got an abundance of food, go for it, they'll produce multiple nests. If the weather was bad, if they couldn't find any food, let's say like the hillsides there are all cleared and there's not as much food, they may come in and have one nest. But when there's so much food, they can raise their babies. Their babies will start to come out, and as soon as they come out, they go back and have another nest. So they can do anywhere from 1 to possibly 3 nests a year. And that's what's going on here. So now the population, having more than enough food, well, that's what they've done. So over the past, I'm going to say 3-4 years, the population, without a doubt, has just taken off. And I'm going to tell you this, they're one of my favorite birds. Well, I've got so many favorite birds, but I do love the hummingbirds, but they are just so cute to watch because they all get along. You see a little bit of quarreling, but usually it's the older birds trying to push the baby birds away is what it is. They just, if they want to come in and take a bath, they're the seniors. They have the right to take their baths, and the young ones can wait off on the side until they're done. But as far as foraging together, they do forage together. They will cover the seeds coming out of the plants. They'll just cover them with goldfinches. They'll hang out together. There's very little fighting and very little competition among themselves. More of a dominant thing as far as age, respect your elders is basically what it is. And the babies all get along. They all come together, and I think they feel safer when there's larger numbers of them. So they do band together in large groups, and they'll come in waves during the day. And I might be sitting out here in the afternoon, and 30 or 40 of them will come in and sit in the trees like they're doing now. And then they'll come in and take baths, and they take turns. So 4, 5, 6 will come in and take a bath. And then another 4, 5, 6 will come in and they'll do this. And then they go back into the garden and they'll eat little tiny insects that are in the garden. And they'll be eating the greens and the seeds all day. And then they'll just hang out, enjoy the weather, and do what they do best, be birds. So I just thought I'd kind of share that with you. But these that you're seeing today are all lesser goldfinches. We do have the American goldfinch, but I rarely see those. The ones that are dominating my yard are the lesser goldfinch. And they're just not as brightly colored, the males. There's tons of babies right now. The babies look very much like females, and they have very little coloring, but they don't even have as much yellow tinge to them. That will come probably their next molt. Most of these are probably from the last nest. I've seen many young males. They look a little bit muddy color and they don't have the bright yellow to them yet. But as soon as they go through their second and third molt, they'll have beautiful coloring and they'll look just like their dad, the males. Females are kind of olivey color. So that's how you can tell them. And the babies, of course, they have those big, curious eyes. You can tell their eyes are a little bit different. You can tell the new ones that have come out of the nest. And they don't have the olivey color quite yet, but it comes quite quickly. But they'll just hang around the plants upside down, eating seeds, eating the little bits of green. They love the purple kales. They love the tree color to hang in. They'll take a bath sometimes even on the leaves if the leaves are wet. And they'll just hang out and do their thing, hanging around in the garden. And they're very tame. I'm literally always out in the garden, and they'll come and right to the fountain. I can be standing right next to the fountain, and they will come right out to the fountain with me standing there, literally a foot or two. They have no fear of me. I guess they figured out I'm not going to do anything to them. I water, I take care of the garden, and so they know that. And so they're very, very tame. As far as I said, like with seed, no, they're not going to eat any seed you put out. You can try. You never know. There's always an exception to the rule. But even with the hundreds and hundreds of goldfinches, I never see them go to the bowl. I don't even see them forage on the ground. They're mainly in the plants themselves. They rarely go all the way to the ground. They can. I have seen some, but they really do like to hang higher up into the plants, forage on the top when the seeds are fresh and still soft, and they'll open up the little shells of the pods, because all these plants grow like beans, even the kale and collard. They look like little skinny beans, and inside are really tiny little seeds, and that's what they eat. So I thought I'd share that with you today because I get a kick out of them. So I hope you enjoyed this little video on the goldfinches. See if you've got any. They're so much fun to have. And I know there's different goldfinches all over different places, but we here have the lesser goldfinch. So have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.